Hello YouTubers, it's your girl Nancy, and today I am going to talk to you guys about the OT settings, like all the different settings that we OTs work at, okay? And of course I always have my little notes because this brain sometimes will just kind of do its own thing. But not only that, I just came home from work. I'm super tired. It's a Friday night, so let's get this video started, okay? Okay, when you go through OT school and after you take your boards and all of that stuff, you graduate as a generalized OT, which means that you can work at any of these settings without getting like a specialty in that setting or a certificate or anything like that. Once you pass the boards, you can work at any of these settings. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is academia, which basically means that you can teach as an OT. The second setting that I'm going to talk about is working in the community. So as an OT, you can work in the community, you can work in adult daycare centers, you can work in homeless shelters, you can also work in correctional facilities, you can work in substance abuse places, you can work in mental health centers, you can work in clubhouses, any kind of setting in the community that you think that OTs can make a difference, we can definitely work there, okay? The next setting that I'm going to talk about is the early intervention setting. Now, when I say early intervention, I mean from birth all the way up to age 3. That's early intervention. So with that, it could be that you're working in the NICU, for example, at the hospital, or that you're working in home with a patient with a child from anywhere from birth all the way up to 3 years old. The next setting that you can work in is the school setting, school at age 3 all the way up to like high school. That will be your school age. Usually they say 3 to 12, but I think it can be older than 12. So if you're an OT, you want to work in a school system, that's definitely a really good option for you. If there's something that you're into, you can work in the school year and take up the summer. There's also a lot of flexibility in that type of schedule. And even if you wanted to pick up like different PRN job at the hospital when summertime comes around, if you want to take the whole summer off, you can do that. So I love the flexibility that comes with working in school, being able to take the summer off when the kids have off, being able to be off when the school is out and all of that stuff. So that can be really good if that's a setting that you think that you may be interested in. Another setting that I'm going to talk about is the freestanding setting that you can work in. Freestanding OT basically means that you can open your own business. You are your own boss, okay? You make your own rules and you do your own thing. So with that, there's a lot of different things that are coming up, the non-traditional type of things, like working for a medical equipment company, working for the insurance company, doing like a home modification company. So even if the type of business that you want to open is not out there, go ahead and open it, go ahead and start it. Yeah, if you feel like there's a possibility for OTs to go into whatever field that you think that we can go into, or whatever business that you think OTs will be great at, then start it. If it's not already out there, go ahead and start to be an entrepreneur and do your own thing. That's the thing with OT. OT is very diverse. We can do almost everything. We work with all ages, and so we get to do a lot of different things, which is absolutely awesome. The next setting that I'm going to talk about is the mental health setting. If you're a mental health OT, you could definitely be working in the hospital, in the mental health hospital, or you could be working at, or you could be working in the community as a mental health OT, okay? The next 4 settings that I'm going to talk about is like the really popular ones. I want to say school is actually also popular also. So basically, I'm going to try to like make it so you guys can understand it. So the first setting that I'm going to talk about is the hospital setting, acute hospital settings. So this is where patients go when they are facing any kind of acute illness or any kind of traumatic injury or anything like that. It goes to acute. The difference between an acute hospital and working in a subacute hospital, which is a skilled nursing facility, which is where I work at, is that in an acute hospital, a lot of the patients, like I said, may not be medically stable. And also there's a lot of intensive therapy that they receive, and they are usually at the hospital for a very short period of time, okay? So after the patient gets discharged from the hospital, usually, depending on the patient's condition, if they need more therapy, more intense therapy. They may discharge that patient to a subacute or a skilled nursing facility so that they can get even more therapy. So that's my expertise, so to speak. That's what I do. I'm a skilled nursing facility OT. And basically when the patient comes to skilled nursing facility, they do get the same amount, a similar amount of therapy as they did in the acute hospital, but usually it's not as much as in the acute hospital. So for example, in the acute hospital, a patient may be getting 3 hours of therapy a day from OT, but in a skilled nursing facility, it could be like an hour, for example. So it's a little bit shorter. And also the difference between the subacute and the acute is that in the subacute, the patient usually stay there for a longer period of time compared to the acute hospital. So if that's something that you're interested in, come on over. Okay, come join me at the subacute skilled nursing facilities. And also with the skilled nursing facilities, usually we also have long-term care patients, so LTC patients, which are basically patients that live in a nursing home, okay? That is your home. They're not going to be discharged anywhere. They basically live there until they pass on to the other life or pass on to whatever that you believe them, so they die. So basically, yeah, that's what it is. So usually it's like half and half. So half subacute patients who are there for intense therapy for however how many weeks that they need before they get discharged to go home. That brings me to the next setting, the home health setting. So home health setting basically once the patients get discharged from the subacute hospitals, either they're gonna end up at home, okay, and they can get more home care services that way, or they can go to a subacute skilled nursing facility where they can also get more intensive therapy, clockwork. Nursing, usually there's nursing also there, so they can get nursing, they can get a doctor that comes in once in a while, and they can also get all the therapy that they need in order to get discharged to go home. Once the patient gets discharged from the skilled nursing facility, usually there's 2 options depending on the patient's condition. They may go on to home health, so basically the OT will go to the patient's home to provide therapy, or they may just go out to an outpatient facility to get the therapy that they need. So that's another option too. That's another setting, the outpatient setting. So with the outpatient settings, the patients are not staying at the rehab. They are just coming there, they get their therapy, and then they go back home. So in comparison to the acute and the subacute, where the patients are actually staying there, sleeping there, eating there, and all of that stuff. With the outpatients, it's outpatient. So the patients are just coming to you, they get their therapy, and they go home. Okay, so those are the different settings that OT work at. Yeah, so really OT really do give you a lot of different options as far as like the different settings and where you want to work at. If you start working at a hospital and you feel like, you know what, this is not for me, I don't like it, I can't do this, then that's okay. Like, that's the beauty about being a therapist. You can go to another setting and try it out, because each and every setting that I have experienced as a student and also as a worker has been different. Okay, like I've been to the hospital and I've seen the dynamics of it. I did one of my level 1s at a hand therapy clinic. I did some at a school, like early intervention. I did school age. I did, what else did I do? I did the hospital. And so I have a pretty good idea of how all of these different settings kind of play out. I also did some level 1s at a community, so I definitely, and also mental health, I forgot about that. And so I have a pretty good idea of like how the different settings work out. So if you're in school too, that's another thing, that's another great opportunity. Make sure that you do like your level 1s and your level 2s and even your shadowing in different settings, just so you can have a feel for how each setting kind of feels like. And then you can have an idea where you might possibly want to work after graduation. I know for me, I always thought that I wanted to do mental health. And I kind of, sometimes I feel like I am doing mental health, because mental health can really be applied to any setting, really. Definitely the good thing about working at a skilled nursing facility is that I get to see like everything, like all the physical disabilities, all the mental disabilities, and so it's definitely a very wide range of patients. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, as you guys already know, just go ahead and leave them down below. If you want to send me an email, go ahead and send me an email. Make sure that you guys are liking, make sure that you're commenting, make sure that you're subscribing, and make sure that you follow me on Lovely OTS on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.